Hello everyone and welcome back to Motors&Me. So, 5 years with a Nissan Pulsar. In this video I will tell you about my experience for the past 5 years with this car, repairs, recalls, what I liked and what I didn't like. I think I will be shooting the video from inside the car because it is a bit windy outside and my GoPro Media Mod picks a lot of wind noise. So this video will be only talking, no repairs, no mods, no nothing, so it's probably going to be a bit boring, but if you're interested, stick around. First, let's talk about repairs and recalls. So, the very first problem we encountered with this car was during the first years. That's, of course, aside from all regular maintenance. And it was squeaking brake pads and rotors. Well, you might be saying that squeaking brakes is not that big of a deal, but they were squeaking even though I wasn't applying the brakes. And that's a bit unusual, I think. Well, it could be that the road trip we had to Germany added a bit of wear and tear to the brakes, because we drove a bit on the southern border where there's a lot of ups and downs. And on top of that, when coming back right after Munich, there was a traffic accident on the Autobahn, and we were doing 160 kilometers an hour, and it happened right in front of us. I slammed the brakes so hard that even the ABS kicked in, But still, 2 years for rotors and brake pads? That's not a lot, I think. And for those of you who are saying, oh, you should have used the engine to slow down the car when going downhill, well, I did, but the 1.2 liter doesn't make that much of a difference. The second thing we had was right after the rotors and pads replacement. It was winter and water was getting into somewhere inside the engine bay, freezing and breaking something. And I don't know the details, but I think it had something to do with the intercooler, but I might be wrong with that. Anyways, that was a recall, and at first they didn't repair anything, but do you know those plastic pads you put in front of the car to make the car warm up faster? They actually added those. Now, I'll show you. They added those down here to prevent moisture from getting into somewhere. Then 10 or so months later they called us again and added this. I don't know if you can see that piece of plastic here, and on the other side there's nothing. Sorry, I don't know all the details about that, but I just thought I should mention it. So now we are getting into year 3. One day when I was cleaning the car, vacuuming and stuff like that, I noticed that the boot floor was a bit wet. I'll show it to you. So, all this was wet, and when I opened it and took the repair kit out, the well was about 1/3 with water. Of course, I opened the drain plug and got the water out, and then on a closer inspection, this side was completely dry, while this side over here was wet up to around here. And that led me to believe that water was coming in through the taillight. And so I immediately called the dealer, and the guy on the phone said that yes, they have had some Pulsars with this issue. Thankfully, everything was covered under warranty. And then we are getting to year 4. Which is when this car developed an uneven idle right after a cold start. It was midsummer and it seemed that the car would only do it in hot days. So that led me to believe that it has something to do with the AC. Then I got in touch with the dealer. They took a look at it, and sure enough, they blamed the AC, which is supposedly putting a large load on this small engine. At first, they didn't really do any repairs. They just said that I should use 98 octane fuel for a while to clean up the engine of any carbon deposits, if there are any, and then see if that makes any difference. Then came the fall, temperatures went down, and the issue disappeared. Then as we moved into the summer of year 5, temperatures went back up, and the uneven idle returned, this time much worse. And so again, I got in touch with the dealer, explained the situation, and they actually sent a trailer to pick the car up. And I live 120 kilometers from the dealership away. Anyways, so a week or so later, they called me back and said that the variable valve timing switch was bad. They replaced it sort of under warranty, but now the car is working like it should. And that's basically it. So here we are now, 5 years later after purchase, and what are my thoughts? Well, I would say it was a pretty good car. I mean, the looks might need some getting used to, but all in all, it's a very practical and comfortable family hatchback. I mean, you can easily sit 3 adults in the back and they would be very happy. More or less. Knee room wise. Look at that. I am 185 tall. The driver's seat is in my seating position. Look at it. There's still plenty of knee room. I think that is very good for a car of this size. Sorry I keep switching locations all the time, it's just that the sun is a bit in the way. Anyways, on a daily basis I drive a Mark 7 Golf and a similar year Audi A3, and they get nowhere near that. The engine, well, this 1.2 liter may not have the best reputation, especially early models. But if you can find one that has 60, 70, or maybe 80,000 kilometers on the clock and is not burning any oil, I think you should be good. Why 60, 70, or 80? Well, if the engine is one of the bad ones, they are already burning oil at 60,000 kilometers and don't make it past 70, from what I've seen at least. So, but if you want to be on the safe side, you should probably look for cars that are 2016 and newer. Alright. This will probably be my last video about this car. In the comment section below, let me know what you think about it. Do you have one? Have you had one? Or maybe you plan on buying one? Will I miss the car? Well, yeah, probably a bit. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And maybe sometime in the near future, I will upload a video about a car that is going to replace this car. And it might, just might, be a distant relative to the Nissan Pulsar. But for now, bye bye and see you next time.